All right, hello SMU friends. Not sure when they're showing this. It's in the afternoon here. But my name is Liz Green, and I'm a currently slash previous SMU student in the dyslexia therapy program. I live in Canyon, Texas, which is pretty close to Amarillo, so we're way up here in the Panhandle. And I just I've been thinking about you guys as Michelle and Mimi are starting a new batch of dyslexia therapists students off on their really exciting journey of helping kids out. And I so remember what it feels like to be in your shoes. I started 2 summers ago, 2016, and thought I knew some stuff. And then as I sat in that class, I was like, oh my goodness. So I'm just here to, I don't know, offer some tips to let you know what you're feeling is completely normal. And if anything, it's giving you a break from lecture and you can critique, my no makeup face and all that good stuff. So I didn't realize once you start video and you can't like flip it from being on you to around. So I had some visuals I was just going to show so you didn't have to look at my face the whole time. So this will probably be a little awkward, but here we go. So before you showed up at SMU, you just thought that you knew how to locate and find reference materials quickly for a lecture. I was bombarded with new terminology, MTA, teaching guide, reading guide, spelling guide, situation learning, foundations, Blue Book, Bursch, ASAP, WOW, EPPC, VAKT. It'll all come together and make sense. I know Miss Michelle is your teacher, so you are definitely questioning your ability to write in cursive. Just do it. She is not going to make an exception. Just figure it out. Love you, Michelle. But it's true. Oh dear, I dropped it. Okay. You thought you knew the amount of supplies a teacher could carry at one time? Yes, you have more materials than you know what to do with. And here's the drawing of my little cart with all my supplies overflowing. You thought you knew the sounds of the alphabet. What'd you think about pulling that tongue through the back of your neck? Let's see. You also thought you knew how to read a graph until you were introduced to the graph in your Blue Book, your Foundations book. Probably wondering what the heck all that's about. It does come together. Not as quickly as you would like, but it will. And then you thought you knew how to tell the difference between your ISD deck, your ARD deck, your IRD deck, when to align, when not to align, and then all of a sudden you find yourself confused again. You also thought you knew that the spelling of the spelling deck response for the K sound was hard, which is K, C, final digraph CK, and it eventually becomes K, C, final digraph CK, K, KE, C, and guess what? It will become the easiest spelling deck response once you get through them all. So, enjoy that one. All right. A few tips that I have maybe just to kind of help clarify some confusion. Once again, guys, what you are feeling and experiencing right now is normal. Really, by the depth that this program takes you into the science of the language, it can't be presented in a non-confusing way. You just have to hang in there. But okay, so one of my biggest pieces of advice is to really utilize your MTA teaching guide. That was my #1 go-to once I could get my head above water a little bit and dove into that to really see what it was about, it is scripted, but it is, man, it was a bridge. It really helped get me from being completely confused to sort of making sense of what was going on. So this is what I went to understand pieces of the graph and to teach that new learning component of your lesson plans. And also here is that reading practice guide. When I went, these weren't a requirement. They're something that you buy on your own. I highly recommend them. They are full of the practice words that you use to fill in that EPPC piece, which is the little lesson plans within the reading time slot on your schedule. But you don't have to try to think of those things. And right now, honestly, when I was in your shoes, being a newbie, I didn't have a lot of business trying to come up with those words, because the word would end up having something I hadn't taught my kiddos. So that's a great resource. And then also, same thing when you're teaching the spelling piece of your schedules. This is a great go-to, okay? So the 3 things that I just showed you, that MTA is a program that is used to teach the graph. And also another helpful piece that you guys have probably received is that situation learning. And it's this one, and it's got the teaching guides and the student guides. And the student guides, I don't think come, they're not required material either. And I know the amount of money you just spent, you're like, oh my gosh, I can't afford to get anything else. But if you get anything, I would get the student guides and your reading and spelling student reading practice guides, because it will save you a ton of time to not have to pull those words on your own. And linkages. I don't know about you, but I was so intimidated by the linkages. So just create those little cheat cards that Mimi and Michelle suggest. Read them verbatim. That's okay. You'll eventually get to where you don't have to read them verbatim, and you will get them under 5 minutes. I promise. I know they've told you the same thing, but it's true. And then also, let's see. So I just remember being so confused. I couldn't remember what materials went to what and what their purpose was. I'm a graphic organizer gal, so I just thought I would share this with you. So up here at the top is your foundations, your blue book. I think of it as the Bible. It's got that graph in it. It is the purest form of the science of the language, okay? I think of it as the Bible. It's as pure as you're going to get without, the actual person sitting there themselves delivering you that information. And then everything else that you receive from SMU is tools to teach that graph, okay? And so, whoops, let's start over here. The first thing I showed you a while ago was the MTA teaching guide, and it's the kit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You've got the reading practice guide, spelling practice guide, and there, of course, are the student pieces to it as well. That is just one tool that you're going to use to teach the graph, okay? Another great one is that situation learning book I just showed you, and that is chunked up into the Schedule 1, Schedule 2A, Schedule 2B, Schedule 2C. It also has the teacher guide and the student workbook. Once again, this is only a program. It's only a tool used to teach that graph, okay? And then you've also got the wonderful Bursch book that is full of information. And then the Foundations book has a lot of information that helps you teach that graph as well. So to kind of summarize it, just for my brain, I think of the graph as the Bible, and then you've got MTA, situation learning, other programs that you can use to supplement that, just like you would a concordance or Bible study guides to help you understand, teach the Bible. So, okay, and then lastly, these are just a few quick, tips that I wrote up here, which I don't want to turn my phone, because then it turns sideways. But it just says, I'm not telling you anything different than Mimi and Michelle have told you, but you have got to give yourself permission to be overwhelmed, confused, and lost. Okay, it's just part of it. There is no way around it. So as soon as you just give yourself permission to not know everything and be in control of this, the better off you'll be. I promise. I'm a control freak, and if only I would have listened to them on day one. It will be okay, I promise. And then you just need to trust the process. It will all come together in due time, not your time. Can you tell I'm a control freak? That was really hard for me. And let's see, down here, your instructors are for you. They will get you there. They're two of the best. They know their stuff. They're a great balance. They're just awesome. So with that said, I just wanted to give you guys encouragement. And hi, Mimi. Hi, Michelle. Love you guys. Miss you. And if Chris comes back in to teach you guys anything, she's the QI and training from the advanced class above. Tell her I said hi. She's the one that got me interested in SMU and hooked on the science of the language, and you will be too. So you're going to do great. You're almost done with your 2 weeks. You can go home and process all this. Start teaching your kids, and then it'll make sense. So see y'all later.